Two operatives of Anambra State-backed security outfit Agunechemba have been arrested after allegedly shooting dead the 17-year-old boy during an operation at the Biafra Market axis in Onitsha. The tragic incident, which occurred on Thursday at Ife Street by Sokoto Road in Onitsha South local government area, caused panic as traders and residents confronted the operatives over the killing. ATN gathered that the victim was sitting on a covert near the Ngwene drainage when he was struck by a stray bullet fired by the Agunechemba men, who were shooting periodically while chasing a fleeing suspect. Eyewitnesses said the operatives attempted to flee in their operational vehicle but were stopped by angry residents and traders who insisted they must not abandon the boy's corpse. The Anambra State government has launched the Agunechemba and Udogachi security groups in March this year to support police and other security agencies in fighting crime. Confirming the development, the State Police Public Relations Officer SP Tochukwu Ikenga said two suspects had been arrested and transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department, OCA. Last week, we had two young people died from stray bullets. And just still within the weekend, we've had another report of another. What exactly is going on? What are your thoughts on this report?
Before last week, maybe a month or two ago, maybe a month or so, we had a case in Ibadan where a young Kende was killed by a policeman also in the bid to chase a vehicle. In that case, his father's vehicle for violation of traffic rules. One would have thought that with that incident fresh in mind, arm-bearing security persons, at least, this still very fresh in mind, like I said, would have been cautious on their use of firearm, especially when chasing a vehicle for whatever reason. Why carelessly shoot? And you see, my quarrel with some of these security agencies, even though this governor of Anambra State would have meant to when he set up that organization, Agunechemba, to curb the growing insecurity in the state. But my quarrel with some of these organizations, at least as you are seeing from history, is that most of them also become high-handed, like even the conventional police, which most of us condemn. And then beyond their high-handedness, we complain of lack of training for the police at times, but this guy seems worse. The police still seems to have a better training for their men, at least in terms of weapon handling. I mean, this is not just for Anambra, it's just everywhere. In the days of Bakassi, if you remember, they also became high-handed and they became a terror to people. In the days of OPC, people were using them to settle personal issues and all that. But back to this story. Is this happening? That, like you said, just last week and let's say in the few months, we have recorded deaths of young persons. Young persons have died under avoidable circumstances. We never can tell what these persons would have grown up to become. They just wasted that. I only hope that at the end of the day, justice should be done. Then it's high time security persons, no matter what name they are called, no matter at what level they operate, get a proper training before you allow them bear arms. Let them get proper training on when to use such arms and even how to aim properly. If I mean it has become commonplace in Nigeria. You see security men aim most of the times. Why do you have one of the reasons why you have a high prevalence of stray bullets, apart from the issue of trigger happy security agencies, is also the lack of efficiency in handling of firearms. When they would have maybe properly taken a shot, but they aim wrongly, thereby catching innocent citizens in the fray. Then there's also this conventional thinking about bearing of arm. Even if you have a good reason as it were to use your arm, if the place is somewhat crowded,
why isn't that being obeyed?
Absolutely. From the report, it was a market, and we all know the way markets are in Nigeria. Anywhere market is mentioned, most likely it will be a crowded place. So why aim in a market place? Why? There's every possibility that you do get at somebody.
Right.
So the right thing would have been to, even if you were to let the person go. After all, after you have shot and killed an innocent person, you still didn't get the person who you were going after. He probably still flee the scene. Then you cause another trouble. So it would have been better ab initio when you know that you are in such an disadvantaged position. You have crowd around you. You don't want to kill an innocent person because you're chasing a criminal. As important as it is to apprehend that criminal, but you don't want to do that. Then kill and you see, for me, chasing a criminal in a car, if he's a criminal, if he's not another one of these minor offenses, if it's a proper criminal, chasing somebody in a car, for me, it's even easier to catch without using firearms. You can easily take a picture of the number of that vehicle, or is it an unmarked vehicle? If it's a vehicle that has a number, when you get the number, I would think that the work is half done. But again, when you consider the poor, how do I put it now? The poor documentation of data in Nigeria is also another issue, because you would think that every car that is numbered have a name against that number, and they are probably stored in a system. So if you see a car, all you need to do is get the number. With the number, even if it's impossible for you to apprehend the person at the time, you can easily track the car. Yes, even if it happens to any reason that he's not the owner of the car, at least the owner, except in the case of theft, would know who drove the car at certain time of the So I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to go through this again.
So do you think retraining? Because I mean, I know we all agree that insecurity, the rate of insecurity is high, right? But do you think that retraining is going to make a difference? Training these people properly. We're already having the issue with police. We are saying that they are not well trained. They should be retrained. They should be trained often, right? We have that going on. These security outfits were put out for good cause.
Yeah.
But do you think they are trained enough to wear arms?
They are not trained enough. This also brings to the question of the much talked about state police and community policing. If we could just look at, what has happened over the years, how almost every state or constituency have formed one form of security outfit or the other, whether you call them vigilante, whether you call it, just whatever name you call it, it points to the inevitable fact that the federal police is not enough. We need state police, community police, even maybe at the local government before the community level. Every, should have their own policing to make it easier. And now the thing is that if we have this thing legalized, that okay, it's now a constitutional matter or a legal matter, it's now something like making police under the concurrent list of our constitution, not just the exclusive list where the federal government just have it. It means that each state, rather than having this ad hoc arrangement, will now take their time to properly set up a police outfit. Because when you have this ad hoc arrangement, I think that's why you have situations where they are not properly trained. A particular governor comes in, he wants to solve an issue very quickly, then he set up an ad hoc security committee. How long would it probably take to train them? Maybe 2-3 months, maybe, considering that he wants to achieve whatever he wants to achieve within a period of 4 years and tentatively 8 years. So there's another category. But if we have a conventional police at the state, local government and community level, that means you can take time to maybe even set up a police institution, maybe have these people even partner, like if there is a state police, for example, a state that wants can maybe partner with the federal government so that their personnel can attend
training.
Yes, the federal, the police institution. That way you won't have an ad hoc arrangement every time. So by the time somebody spent 4 years in the police training or more, he will be more trained and have a better temperament for security and policing than when you just have an ad hoc system. It also help to screen the kind of persons you come, and it will reduce the tendency of rushing in those you want to settle for political reasons, maybe who helped you or something. So I think it's also, each time these incidents happen, especially with ad hoc security agencies, it raises the question for the need for us to look at the issue of state policing, community policing, local government policing, and maybe look at it holistically with a view of settling this matter for once.
Right. Thank you so much for your insight on that report.